50% more young people are showing up at hospital ERs with mental health and substance use issues today than 7 years ago, but they aren't getting the type of care that they need. My name is Asante, and I've always said that the peer support process is similar to making music.
Through music and support from my friends and my family, I got to overcome depression and tragedy.
My name is d-sisive, and collaborating on a song about my mental health journey with Asante in episode 1 was a key part of my recovery. Now my mission is to guide musical collaborations that will celebrate the caregivers making a difference on the front lines of mental health and addiction.
Welcome to Cypher.
What do you do when you're trying to be an effective caregiver, but nobody gives you permission to do so?
We see Sheryl Boswell for the first time.
You do it anyways.
When we started, there was no understanding of youth mental health. There was no language for youth mental health. But by not providing supports in the school system, effectively you're pushing a student out. So what are we going to do?
I think I'm going to go in and actually turn up the amp a little bit.
We see a recording studio.
As a caregiver, Sheryl recognized that someone close to her was being pushed out of school by a lack of mental health support.
I'm sorry, you're low priority, we have this wait list.
A teacher herself, Sheryl wanted to create better mental health support for all students. But everywhere she turned, she was met with closed doors.
We wrote over 30 grant applications. We wrote partnership proposals. We tried to meet with all the leading figures in the child and youth mental health.
Like any caregiver in her shoes would, Sheryl got pretty frustrated.
Anger can be a force for change because you can use that passion to spark action.
Drums being played.
Can you turn it up a little?
We decided that if we follow the guidelines for what other people want, we're not going to be doing what we know needs to happen.
Eventually, Sheryl went DIY, starting Youth Mental Health Canada all by herself. So how are we going to bring Sheryl's story to life?
We need to match her fierceness.
Instruments getting plugged in.
I think I know exactly who to call.
Hud performs in studio.
This is totally working.
We started doing a lot of research on international best practices. We started to work together with international suicidologists, building social media platforms. Interesting to see the analytics. Almost every country in the world is represented on the page.
Sheryl created caregiving resources for adults as well as self-care resources for young people, building a community in the process. She kickstarted an ongoing survey to better understand the mental health challenges that young people are facing.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So from all those closed doors, we got to the point where we thought, okay, we need to incorporate it as a charitable nonprofit. So we got charitable status last year.
Amazing.
Hud performing in studio.
Today, Youth Mental Health Canada has more social media engagement than any other organization of its kind, offering support to young people and their caregivers.
Can you turn the vocals up a little?
And it all started with one defiant voice.
You don't need to be an expert to talk about mental health or suicide.
You need to have a heart.
There is a momentum for change, and there's a force for change. And all these people want change. The next part is, well, who's going to make it happen?
When you find your own way, you dance to your own tune, you are unconventional, non-conformist. You are what mental health needs.
Mental health needs more punk rock.
Asante smiles at Sheryl. Sheryl hugs Pat. Sheryl smiles to camera.